of our Sonic blockbuster, another installment of Duke and Carolina. As soon as Roger Ayers throws the ball in the air is underway here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. And out of bounds, it'll go over to the Tar Heels. North Carolina 11-6 on the season, 6-4 in the league, unranked. They are in the also receiving votes category, just outside the top 25. And one thing that both of these teams have in common, Jay, right now, they got a lot of young players, and we see freshmen in Love and Walton again starting in the backcourt for the Heels.
Very young backcourts for both teams. Freshman backcourts that tend to turn the ball over. A little horn set to start for Carolina, going high-low.
And you can see the youth of Duke as well, with freshmen in Roach, Stewart, and Williams starting. The two teams have a combined 13 freshmen on their two rosters. Shot clock down to 2. Caleb Love off balance, off the back of the iron, and down with the rebound is Mark Williams, the big guy, 7-footer, a freshman for Duke, who, Jay, getting more playing time recently, and given the size Carolina's got up front, you got to believe Williams is a very important guy in this game for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, playing more physical, but North Carolina in their first possession in the half court getting about as difficult a shot as you can get.
Wendell Moore Jr. into traffic, and he turns it over on a travel. Turnovers, a common refrain from both Roy Williams and Mike Krzyzewski when we talked to them yesterday about their most recent games.
Well, North Carolina turns the ball over at a 21% rate. That's 268th in the country. And you turn the ball over, you can't defend a run out, and you can't offensive rebound a turnover. That's why taking care of the ball and getting a shot up is so important for North Carolina, because how well they generate second shot opportunities.
Garrison Brooks defended by Matthew Hurt. Turnaround will go, and Carolina strikes first.
And there's the most important player for North Carolina. Garrison Brooks, I think, should and can have a great game in this one. Last year he averaged 22 points, 9 rebounds in the 2 games against Duke.
Jeremy Roach tried to dump it off for Mark Williams, and it's picked off by Armando Bacot.
Have to make effective use of the dribble against this big North Carolina team. You're driving into a lot of size.
And, Jay, that's 3 possessions, 3 turnovers for Duke.
Matthew Hurt having to guard Garrison Brooks. They need to continue to go to him.
That is Kerwin Walton, the best shooter on the Carolina team, a 6'5 freshman from Hopkins, Minnesota, probably the least heralded of the Carolina freshmen, but he's become a very important guy.
Yeah, he's such a good shooter when he gets his feet set. You cannot allow him to shoot the ball from the catch spot. You have to make him put it on the deck where he's less effective.
DJ Stewart got half a step on Walton, can't get it to go, tipped back out by Williams. Wide open Stewart for 3, and Duke is on the board.
DJ Stewart is the #1 freshman scorer in the ACC and is a good shooter. He's starting to play much better because his shot selection has really improved over the last 10 games or so.
He's at 13.5 points per game. Leaky Black, who does not shoot the 3 often. That is his 8th on the season. Carolina by 5.
Well, he made 4 of 4 from three-point range against Miami at 16 points, but he was 0 of 7 since that game. So that's a big shot for Leaky Black.
So 8 made threes on the season, 4 in that one game, as Jay mentioned. And the Heels leading by 5, 2.5 minutes in. And we see a trio of subs getting ready to come into the game already for Duke. And there is the 4th Blue Devils turnover. In transition. And a block is the call on the drive by Brooks.
Right call. It looked like Garrison Brooks almost shuffled his feet near a walk, but Carolina getting out in transition off the mistake. But there's no way that was going to be a charge. That was definitely a block, the right call, and North Carolina's bench was asking for a goaltend.
Well, look at the Carolina season so far. They are among, if not the best rebounding team in Division I. They don't shoot it well. 0-5 in quad 1. That is the NCAA net metric, and now we are told they did count the basket, Jay. They have said that was a goaltend. So 1 free throw here for Brooks, and it's 11-3 Heels. Let's be honest, both of these teams are in need of quality wins. Right now, Carolina according to Joe Lunardi, is one of the last 4 buys. He's got them in as an 11 seed. Duke is on the outside looking in. And both coaches will tell you, hey, we're just trying to get better today. But they both need quality wins. The Blue Devils more than the Tar Heels at this point of the season.
Yeah, no question. I mean, yeah, they need any win. Both these teams need to just play well and establish a baseline to play well consistently. What a pass by DJ Stewart to Jordan Goldwire. A lot of substitutions for Duke. They did not get off to a good start taking care of the ball. And Jalen Johnson coming into the ball game after Mike Krzyzewski termed his play at Miami to be horrible. He said he was soft and played horrible in that game, in which he had 4 turnovers but 13 points and 7 rebounds.
As a result, not in the starting lineup tonight. You saw the season summary for Duke. Just 1 game over 500, both overall and in conference play. They have 1 quad 1 win, and that's at Notre Dame, which is a top 75, and that's the metric for winning on the road. But again, to the point we made earlier, as Jay said, both of these teams just need to play well. They need to win games, try to get some momentum going. Both of these teams, Jay, as is typically the case, their schedules are kind of backloaded. They're going to get more difficult.
Yeah, it's going to get much more difficult, but that's okay. That's what they need and what they want right now.
Another 3 for Walton, and the lead grows for Carolina.
Boy, Walton's doing such a good job of changing pace so that his defender is off balance. You know, he goes slow to fast, and he went really quickly into that shot, but set his feet before he caught it. That was impressive by Kerwin Walton.
Armando Bacot's going to be called for a foul. Carolina with a big size advantage on the inside. You'll generally see 2 of Bacot, Brooks, and now Day'Ron Sharpe, the McDonald's All-American, 6'11", 265 from Greenville, North Carolina. One of the few Tar Heels coming off a good game in their loss to Clemson on Tuesday. Nice drive by Stewart to lay it in.
Really well done on out of bounds underneath. North Carolina went to a little zone. It was overloaded on the right side. Stewart took advantage of it. Really smart play.
Looking inside for Sharpe, but the pass too far off his fingertips out of bounds to take us to our first media timeout of this installment between the 2 scheduled regular season meetings between the 2. As always, they will meet on the final Saturday of the regular season this year. Of course, with this one being here, the last one, assuming it takes place, will be in Chapel Hill. And yet another Duke turnover, and Caleb Love slams it down and draws a foul.
Duke just running a high horn set, and Carolina came out and blitzed it. That little rub screen off that horn set, they just came out, blitzed it, almost trapped it. And Caleb Love, who has had his issues as a freshman this season with his shot selection, shooting the ball. He's big, he's strong, and he's athletic. And that was a big-time play by the freshman to start out his Duke Carolina career.
And look at those points off turnovers. I mean, Mike Krzyzewski was not happy with the way they handled the ball Monday at Miami. And if anything, it's worse so far here in the first 4.5 minutes of this one.
Well, North Carolina's not only handled Duke's pressure, they've applied their own. And they have really established sort of the strength and the tempo of this game. And Dan, just so everybody knows, from Cameron Indoor Stadium to the Smith Center, it's actually 11 miles. Ooh. Because Coach K, I know that because Coach K made me walk home after we lost there in 1986. So I know exactly how far it was.
You know what? Most of your stuff is self-deprecating humor. I think I might believe you on that. I could go either way. You could sell that to me. Here's Johnson with a drive. Good defense by Brooks, and Johnson comes up empty.
And that's just not a strong move by Jalen Johnson. It's just the stronger player won that battle, and that was Brooks.
Boy, what a steal now by Johnson, and a chance for a run out for Duke. Joey Baker gets a good look for 3 and knocks it down. Baker, a guy who shot the 3 at a 39% clip a year ago, has not played as much, and Jay has not shot as well this year.
Well, one of the reasons he's not played as much is he's not hunting that shot. I mean, he needs to shoot more of those. He made 28 of them last year, and that's only his 6th made 3 this season. And Garrison Brooks, I think he's got to take this game over for North Carolina. He's going to be a tough matchup for anybody that Mike Krzyzewski decides to put on him if they continue to play man.
Yeah, that's a vintage baseline turnaround. Classic Garrison Brooks right there. He's got 7. And how about Carolina? 7 of 8 from the floor. And a travel is called on Jamin Brakefield. Yet another Duke turnover.
Well, Brakefield was trying to drive Day'Ron Sharpe where he's got the advantage. But this is a big-time play here by Garrison Brooks. Just turning baseline, shooting over Brakefield, a little turnaround jumper. And he has not had the kind of scoring season I think everybody expected. He's averaging double figures, over 7 rebounds. But he's capable of 25 in this game. Good back cut.
And Platek has it rejected. Good feed by Brooks. Good cut by Platek, but good recovery by Duke. Williams on the feed from Goldwire got caught under the bucket. Boy, a good job by Sharpe staying with her down on the perimeter. Williams with a jump hook, too strong.
Yeah, right now Matthew Hurts had a hard time trying to establish anything on the perimeter, even against Carolina's big guys when he draws them away from the basket. Carolina's just been stronger in this game.
Duke has won the last 3 in the rivalry. Freshman R.J. Davis rattles it in and out. On the 3, 9-point lead Tar Heels. Baker, you talked about him hunting his shot. Hunted that one, but he comes up empty.
Well, you got to go out and guard. If he's looking to shoot, you got to go out and guard him, and that's going to open up things for his teammates. Carolina's secondary break, that little wing back pick. Been running that ever since Dean Smith set foot in Chapel Hill.
That's what everybody says about the Heels. It's not that you don't know what they're going to do. They just do it so well.
It's like, it's like USC back in the day running student body right. Or the power sweep of the Green Bay Packers. You knew it was coming. You just couldn't stop it. And North Carolina has a bunch of, it's their secondary break. And usually the threat of their primary break makes the secondary break even better. But their primary break hasn't been particularly good this year. But it's still the same action and still difficult to guard.
Walker Kessler into the game for the first time for the Heels. And with the shot clock running down, he misses a turnaround.
Kessler, just a freshman, a McDonald's All-American. He's going to be really good.
A 7-footer, each program with 3 McDonald's All-Americans, 2 of the top recruiting classes in the country. But it sure does feel like the younger teams have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. Didn't really have a summer. Didn't get to know each other all that well. Didn't have a closed scrimmage or an exhibition game. Maybe the veteran teams are riding this kind of thing out better than the younger teams.
When Duke shoots a long ball, that means it's going to be a long rebound, and that neutralizes a little bit of North Carolina's rebounding advantage.
That ball's still live, and Duke's got it.
You see where Duke's running its offense really high, trying to give them the ability to drive.
Boy, that's a strong drive in reverse there by Wendell Moore.
He just went right into the chest of Andrew Platek and knocked him backwards. Good fake by Platek.
Short on the 3. Baker with a shot fake, gets it off, and misses the 3 from the wing.
Well, that was more of a challenge 3, but the aggressiveness is good.
Well, a good idea there by Love. Had a good look at the floater, couldn't get it to go, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Carolina ball when we come back. Wendell Moore with a terrific bucket, and as if his day couldn't get any better, 94 feet, reminiscing about one of his great moments. We'll talk it over with Jay Billis when we come back.
An incredible honor for.
But the last thing I watched was You, the Netflix series that came out.
That's a little disturbing.
Yeah.
Who's your funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate is definitely Henry Coleman, by far.
Your best basketball moment of your career at any level?
Best basketball moment is definitely Carolina shot.
Yeah, with that tip-in you had last year at Carolina?
Yes.
What was it like? What did it feel like to have that kind of moment?
I mean, growing up in Carolina, just watching all that, it was great. To have my own moment in this rivalry is really second to none.
How about the difference between playing 2 games last year against North Carolina at Cameron at the Smith Center, and then this year with no fans? What will that be like?
It'll definitely be different, especially for guys who played in the game and that high caliber, that many fans going crazy. It's definitely going to be a different game this year.
The job you covet going forward in life?
For me, I think I was going to be around the game, so I want to be like a sports agent or something like that.
Well, as long as it's not a sports announcer, that's a good thing. 94 feet.
Do I get any input if he becomes a sports announcer?
He's going to be play-by-play if he does. He's moving you out, not me.
And, you know, I don't want to undersell the Carolina shot and all, but chocolate chip cookies every meal sounds like the greatest moment of one's career.
You're darn right, especially for breakfast.
Yeah. Davis with a miss from the corner. The bucket that happened during the Wendell Moore interview was another bucket for Garrison Brooks. And you talked about, Jay, he's got to get touch after touch. He's got 9 points already.
If I were Roy Williams, I'd tell my team, every time down, Garrison Brooks touches it or your scholarship is pulled. You don't have to mean it, but he needs to touch the ball.
That's some tough love right there. He touched the ball by going to get it right now. Comes up with a steal.
Good pass.
Wide open play check. Boy, what a great couple of trips for the Heels as they get the lead back up to 10.
Garrison Brooks is dominating this game. As you saw, he put himself right in the middle of the lane during that 94 feet and wound up getting a dunk off the penetration. And he is just locked in and having a great start to this game.
Good extra pass there by Stewart, but Moore can't knock down the corner three.
There's Brooks now looking high-low. He's such a good passer. He's got a great sense of where to be on the floor, especially on the defensive end. I think he's North Carolina's best defensive player.
Bacot has been very consistent this year, other than the Tuesday game against Clemson when he was very quiet.
Yeah, unbelievably quiet.
Yeah.
That was probably his worst outing as a Tar Heel. He only had 1 point, 3 rebounds, 4 fouls against Clemson.
Williams there to pick up the loose change and slam it in. He started getting more minutes 3 games ago. Has gotten consistent double-figure minutes, and again with the size of Carolina, they need all they can get from Williams. Brooks inside, and Matthew Hurt just picked up his 2nd foul of the game.
Hurt's not going to be able to guard him down the low post. Garrison Brooks is just too strong, and he's playing angles really well on Hurt. It was a great job of reading the vision of the passer, taking that away, and then not charging into Wendell Moore, just stopping and then finding the open man, Andrew Platek, cross court. Really smart play by Garrison Brooks.
So, Jay, you figured for Duke to have its best chance to win this game, Matthew Hurt would have to have a big game. He is going to the bench now with a 9:15 left in the first half with 2 fouls and without a single point so far.
Yeah, Matthew Hurt's got to be able to play out on the perimeter, and he's got to be able to draw one of Carolina's big guys away from the basket. You know, involve them in ball screens where he can play pick and pop, shot fake, get some fouls on them, but get them out of the paint where they're more effective.
And boy, is Duke small right now. Really, the biggest guys they have out there are Johnson and Brakefield. This is a 5-out lineup right now for the Blue Devils.
And Carolina's guards have done a pretty good job of staying in front of ball handlers on drives. But the ball has to move before you drive it. You can't just drive on the first side.
Roach got Bacot in the air. Bacot did a good job to not foul him, and Roach missed the 3. Moore with a foul.
But really, it's been offensive rebounding for Duke off long rebounds. It's been a big part of their offense. And North Carolina's guards and their wings are going to have to chase the ball down a little more effectively.
Big size mismatch here for Bacot. The Duke bench screaming that he stepped out of bounds. Walton's open again, and you can't leave him open. Kirtland Walton with his 3rd 3 of the game already.
Off any broken play, all these teams now, North Carolina, Duke, you name it, they're so effective at finding open 3-point shooters. And Jeremy Roach knocking down that 3. He really needed that one. He has not been shooting the ball well. Last 5 games, 2 of 17 from 3.
And 23% overall on the season from 3, but a big one to get Duke back within 7. And after the Brooks miss, they'll get a good look for Brakefield in the corner, and he airballs it. Brakefield, a guy who since Jalen Johnson has come back from injury, hasn't played a whole lot. Leaky Black called for the offensive foul. It'll go back over to Duke.
Well, Garrison Brooks has played 11 minutes in this ball game. He's got 10 points. The turnaround jumper down in the low post. He's played good defensively. Puts him try
to string some wins together, which, as we mentioned, they've both done at times this year, but they're both coming into this one off a loss, and they're looking up at the likes of Virginia, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Louisville right now in the ACC.
Yeah, both coaches really thinking about the next possession. That's how young their teams are. They're trying to build possession by possession.
Henry Coleman getting some run now for Duke, and he picks up an assist on the 3 by Roach, his 2nd of the game.
Duke spreading the floor, but not going quite as fast as they were before. They're not in a rush. Good pass.
A play on. Coleman down with the rebound, and back come the Blue Devils in transition.
Well, you got to go up stronger than that if you're going to go get fouled. You got to go into the contact, not try to avoid it. That was a low percentage shot by R.J. Davis, and very little chance of getting a foul call that way.
Brooks guarded by Coleman, lost it, and they're going to keep it at this end of the floor with the heels.
It looked like it might have gone off Garrison Brooks' foot.
Got a big Monday doubleheader coming for you. You'll see the Tar Heels again. They will host Miami. Jim Laranaga's underman team. I mean, they give it everything they've got every time. They had a heartbreaking defeat in overtime to Virginia Tech today. And then Oklahoma State, speaking of overtime, they had a double overtime win over Texas today. They will take on Kansas. The Jayhawks, Jay, allowed 91 points in a loss at West Virginia this afternoon.
Boy, the way West Virginia shot the ball, there's a play run just to get an isolation inside for Wendell Moore against Andrew Platek. And Platek just took the ball away and now gave it away.
And Roach, the beneficiary of the easy two. Roach now with 8.
Boy, if that isn't a microcosm of North Carolina's season, I don't know what is. I mean, Roy Williams was beside himself. Andrew Platek makes a great play and then just gives the ball away for a bucket on the other end.
Duke trying to steal some minutes without Matthew Hurt, who's got 2 fouls, without Mark Williams, the freshman, who's pulled down a bunch of rebounds, but he's on the bench right now, and Caleb Love with a very confident-looking step-back jumper.
Well, Caleb Love has always been a scorer. But this is his first year as a point guard, having to make decisions at higher speed and to get others involved. I think Jalen Johnson was expecting Armando Bacot to go up and try to block that. That was not a strong move.
And it has been a quiet first half so far for Johnson. Bacot, did he shuffle the feet? Yeah, he did.
Caleb Love just taking that little handoff under control and went straight up for that shot. It was still a challenge shot, but much better than most of the shots he's taken on the season. I mean, coming into this game, he had taken 194 shots and had missed 125 of them. And he's a much better shooter than that. He's a scorer.
Matthew Hurt checking back into the game with 2 fouls. Duke played well with the small lineup, cut into the deficit. Baker looking for somebody, and he finds Stewart. Still plenty of time.
When North Carolina gets the ball in the half court, that means they have to go at Matthew Hurt. Try to pick up that 3rd foul on a nice play by Jalen Johnson because he caught the ball on the move. So much better in the half court when he's on the move.
First bucket of the game for the freshman. Carolina's lead down to 2.
Brooks has Johnson on him. That's a mismatch. Good pass.
It won't go down for Sharp, but he will go to the line.
All right, take a look at Jalen Johnson right here. And Garrison Brooks had to look at the ball. If Johnson had stayed where he was, it wouldn't have been an effective play, but he was on the move, and that's what, as a cutter, that's what got him that easy opportunity. And Garrison Brooks then had to turn his head and find him after he tried to stop the ball. But if he's going to guard Brooks on this other end, on Carolina's offensive end, I think Carolina needs to look at Brooks every time, let him go one-on-one against Jalen Johnson inside.
A couple of the misses at the line by Sharp, and Duke and Tyre take the lead. But they turn it over again. Brooks to the deck. Coleman trying to get it from him, and eventually it'll be a tie-up.
He was calling timeout, but the officials didn't see it. And Teddy Valentine was behind the play, so probably couldn't see it. Yeah, but there's no question he was calling timeout. No question.
And that's the reaction you could see that Ted Valentine just gave Roy Williams. I couldn't see that. He was behind him at the time.
I don't know where Jordan Goldwire was going here, but that's not a good play. But he was trying to call timeout, and he had possession. But it just wasn't seen by the official, so the possession arrow gives it to Duke.
Jordan Goldwire, the senior. Low turnover, high steal, good assist guy, a stabilizer in the backcourt at times. Nice feed into Coleman, and Duke has tied it.
A broken play, but a good job by Coleman after he got the ball back out. to just cut to the basket. It was a scramble situation. Love was out of the play. Brooks had to help up. And just a nice cut by Henry Coleman, who has not played much this year. But he's an energy big that works the glass and battles when he's out there. Just hasn't had a lot of time.
The freshman from Richmond, Virginia, to Jay's point, coming into the game tonight with 23 minutes of court time the entire regular season. Walton on the drive this time, and he gets called for the charge. And it was Coleman stepping in. So now Duke with a chance to take the lead.
A good job by Garrison Brooks to push Jalen Johnson off of the lane. Wouldn't let him get the ball in the post, and Walton did a good job on Joey Baker coming off those baseline screens.
Matthew Hurt's gone back to the bench. Mark Williams on the bench. And again, this smaller lineup, really with Coleman and Johnson as the two biggest guys out there for Duke. It's been a good group for the Blue Devils.
Carolina just trapping off that ball screen action when they got both big guys 25 feet away from the bucket.
Coleman doing some good work, and he threw it out of bounds off of Sharp. So it'll be Duke ball in a tie game when we come back. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is that they met when neither of them was ranked. 153 consecutive games over 61 years where at least one, and usually both of them, were ranked, as Jalen Johnson gives Duke, Jay, its first lead of the game.
Yeah, out of bounds underneath. They went 4 across, and Jalen Johnson just looped in behind Henry Coleman, who just went right to the ball and took a defender with him. And Duke's pressure has really bothered North Carolina over the last 5-6 minutes of the ball game.
Blue Devils on a 14-2 run.
And now the floor is more spread, and North Carolina's big guys are having to come out on the floor more.
Roach left it a bit short. Down with a rebound is Love.
And that's really going to be a key for North Carolina, is getting the guards to rebound.
And Love can try to take it coast to coast, and he will, to tie the game.
That's really his game, is to put the ball on the deck and attack the basket because of his size and because of his strength and athleticism.
Baker, his second three of the game.
He looks a lot better out there when he's looking to shoot the ball, more of a threat. All this year, Joey Baker's been an energy player, a guy who's hustled, put his body on the line, but he needs to make buckets too.
2 for 4 from three-point range, and now a foul, I believe, on Henry Coleman inside.
Caleb Love averages under 3 rebounds a game, but when he gets that ball, he's the one that can bring it up and does a good job of probing and then getting all the way to the basket, absorbing some contact and using his strength to be able to finish through it off the glass. One of the issues for Caleb Love has been he has filled his tank mostly on the offensive end, but he can be an outstanding defender.
We're seeing Love, Davis, and Harris, 3 freshman guards, all in the game at the same time, and it's the sophomore Bacot who lays it in to make it a one-point game.
And it was all because of Caleb Love. After the ball reversal, he put the ball on the deck, avoided that charge that Joey Baker was trying to make, and dumped it off to Armando Bacot.
Carolina great early, led most of the way. Duke on a run to take the lead. Bacot almost traveled, finds Love in the corner, and the Heels are back on top.
Boy, when Duke turns the ball over, North Carolina has capitalized, and what should have been a dunk because of a mishandling of the ball wound up being a 3. And Carolina's already in the first half exceeded their season average on made threes.
The two teams have combined to turn it over 16 times, and those turnovers have led to 31 points between the two teams already in this game.
Well, you cannot defend a run out, and you can't offensive rebound a turnover. And this run out, Bacot just about had a dunk there, and Hurt could have put him in a position to pick up his third if he challenged it, but the mishandling of the ball wound up working in North Carolina's favor because Bacot able to get it to Love, and Love got his feet set in a hurry there.
To your point about the threes, they average just over 5 a game. They've got 6 already tonight, and incredibly efficiently as well.
So 6 is more than 5.1. I was right.
Yes.
Okay, I was right. I'm not great at math, but I'm pretty sure I was right.
You can put your socks and shoes back on.
I haven't noticed Roy Williams' shoes. Did he break out another pair of shoes tonight?
He's been.
Yep. Yeah, those look new.
Yeah.
He's worn a different pair of shoes every game, I believe. I shouldn't be that interested in another man's shoes, but I am.
He's been very stylish. Now, he's not wearing, you know how Roy's got a couple of lucky jackets that he wears. That's out of play. Everybody's dressing down this year, so you got to do it in other ways. Johnson with a travel. Oh, no, stepped out of bounds. Boy, Jalen Johnson's good is great. We saw that in the Pitt game. 24 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, no turnovers. But as is the case with the many freshmen, he's had his ups and downs, and he's also had an injury this year.
He's a full court, open court player and a transition player. When he has to play in the half court, he's still learning that part of the game. And so he makes way more mistakes in the half court.
The follow by Day'Ron Sharp. Nobody got a body on the biggest guy on the court.
You got to get 2 bodies on that body. Those are the ones, Dan, in film that your coach runs back over and over again. And no matter how many times your coach runs it back, you don't get them blocked out on any of them.
Another Duke turnover. Harris. Bacot. Carolina by 4.
Boy, Carolina with a sense of urgency to get the ball down court, but Duke without a sense of urgency to get back. Not making a stand, and Carolina gets it all the way to the rim to make shots. You know, that's one of those things where somebody says, hey, you know, do you need more shooters? And Calipari would say, no, we got plenty of shooters. We don't have any makers. We need more makers.
Dan Shulman, Jay Billis, Cameron Indoor Stadium, Durham, North Carolina. The visiting Tar Heels leading by 4.
Matthew Hurt has not been touching the ball at all. He's got Armando Bacot on him. Good fake.
Stewart will step in and bury it to make it a 2-point game.
Boy, Anthony Harris has not been playing much. You admire the young man because he has come back from so many injuries. But he needs to stay down on those fakes.
If you're just joining us, one of the stories, one of the reasons Carolina is leading.
They are so weak.
Final seconds of the first half, and a close one between Carolina and Duke.
Little box set, the elevator play, well defended thus far by Duke, but Carolina want to get that ball inside.
Brooks does not get it to go, and it'll be a 2-point lead for the Tar Heels going to.
And they've got to drive the ball, try to force help, get these North Carolina bigs away from the basket. And North Carolina's got to take care of the ball, and they've got to pound that ball inside. That's where their advantage is.
Ready for the tip and underway in the second half of our Sonic Blockbuster as the tip back in is good for Armando Bacot. And that is always your biggest fear playing Carolina, is keeping them off the offensive glass.
Keeping Caleb Love out of the lane. That's what led to it. A little double stack low for Duke, and Garrison Brooks guarding Matthew Hurt. DJ Stewart and Jeremy Roach, the freshman guards, combined for 15 in the first half for the Blue Devils. Wendell Moore played well as well. Mark Williams again starting as he did at the beginning of the game. Shot clock running down. Stewart can't get it to go. Boy, Duke got a switch where Armando Bacot was on Roach, and they just could not take advantage of it. And Carolina able to switch back.
Leaky Black starting the second half for Carolina. Picked up his 3rd foul midway through the first. Sat down for a while, but back out there to start here in the second half. Walton, who hit 3 threes. Great pass. Brooks to Bacot, and he can't get it to go.
Armando Bacot's got to be stronger than that. If he didn't have it right away, kick it back out.
Wow, nobody stops the ball for the Heels, and Roach takes advantage.
Amazing how often after you take a questionable shot, and even though he's right under the basket, great pass off the double team. Just not a rotation over But Garrison Brooks saw the double team coming, just an over-the-shoulder pass to Bacot for an easy bucket. That's a big-time play by Garrison Brooks.
Carolina, one of the few programs that still, almost all the time, plays two traditional bigs, and I don't know that there's any team in the country where the bigs share the ball as well as they do in Chapel Hill.
No, they do a good job of running the court, and again, this team is not the kind of transition team, as successful in transition as Roy Williams has had in the past. But take a look when the ball goes inside to Garrison Brooks. There's going to be a double team, and nobody picks up Armando Bacot. You can't double team off Bacot like that. If you do, you have to have somebody pick him up right away. I don't know whether there was just a miscommunication. Wendell Moore thought he was switching, and then Matthew Hurt was going to pick it up. I mean, you're just inviting a layup when you double team off the passer like that.
Third assist of the night for Garrison Brooks. Carolina by 4. Stewart, nice move, but he left it short.
Yeah, Kerwin Walton can't give up middle that easily. That's just too easy of a middle drive, and Carolina got away with one there.
Hurt tips it away. Ball's loose. The Heels retain. And Love fouled by Roach.
Well, Caleb Love is so much better when he's looking to drive the ball first, because you can get Duke to help, then you can play off of it. Anytime you drive, effective use of the dribble is where you can force help. Once you do that, you can break down a defense.
Gatorade Player of the Year in Missouri last year as a high school senior. McDonald's All-American, scored 26 points per game. He comes into college basketball with credentials, but again, being young, being a young point guard, and being a young point guard who really played off the ball more in high school, all tough things that Love is still adjusting to.
And he played high school basketball, Caleb Love did, for Jason Tatum's father. So a connection to the Duke-Carolina rivalry even in St. Louis.
Carolina ball, they got to decide who's going to inbound it. It'll be Love.
It's all about love, isn't it?
Third year in a row, Roy Williams has had a freshman starting at the point. Love finds Black for the bucket.
They were looking to get a lob, and Duke trying to take the lob away, and Leaky Black just able to, beautiful backdoor cut against the pressure.
And Roach with another easy bucket to get him back within 4.
Well, you can't get higher than your man in the corner on ball side, otherwise you're just inviting them to go backdoor.
This is one of Love's better games this season, don't you think?
And I think it's because he's looking to attack off the dribble, and he's doing so under control. He's not worrying about his shot. You make yourself feel a heck of a lot better when you see the ball go in from short range too. What was, I don't know what that pass was.
It never got close, and it's a dunk at the other end for Bacot.
North Carolina having fun on these possessions. You like to get 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, but when you have somebody ahead of the pack playing completely ahead of the defense like Armando Bacot was, that's when the game becomes really easy.
Now 23 points off turnovers for the Tar Heels. Roach gets right by Love, and there's no help defense.
Yeah, that's a lot of freshmen. The further the ball is away from your man, the more you can help. And nobody was in the middle of the lane. Kerwin Walton hugging up on his man on the weak side. One, you can't give up that kind of drive, but second, you got to have weak side help.
Little high-low between Brooks and Bacot. It'll count, and a foul. The big guys really do having a nice night, but it's Carolina leading by 8. Bacot has been huge here in the second half. He's already got 8 second-half points for the Tar Heels, who have led most of the way. And coming out of the timeout, Mike Krzyzewski has gone smaller again. And the smaller lineup was the more successful lineup of the first half for Duke.
Well, anytime you have size against a smaller team, it's which of the advantages is going to dominate. And, Duke should be quicker to the ball, and they're slower to the ball. Armando Bacot winds up missing the free throw. He gets the ball back. And the whole point of having a smaller lineup is to be quicker to the ball, be able to spread the floor.
Mark Williams and Matthew Hurt both on the bench right now out of the timeout. Henry Coleman gave him a spark off the bench, is out there. Johnson also playing in the front court right now as Baker knocks down his third 3 of the game, and he's turning into an X-factor tonight.
Well, nice drive to start by Jalen Johnson. He drew 2 defenders, then kicked it opposite and it was the next pass that got Joey Baker that wide open shot.
Love having himself a game, isn't he?
Well, he got so many easy things. He developed a rhythm, one by playing defense and playing hard, but he wasn't trying to develop his rhythm by making his jump shot first.
Goldwire leaves it short on the baseline. Caleb Love with 15 points now. He's the high scorer in the game.
Take a look. This is a little horn set, rubs off the top, and Jordan Goldwire goes underneath it. And when you go underneath it, Caleb Love has not been shooting the ball well on the season, but he's still a pretty darn good shooter.
Not this time for Baker. Goldwire trying to slow down Love. Look at the deep position, but we had a whistle.
Walk.
Yeah, and a walk on Caleb Love.
He just didn't come to a two-footed jump stop because he had Brooks right there, and Roy Williams knew it. Just one of those tiny little mistakes. Did almost everything right, and it would have been a basket.
Turnovers are 10 apiece, but that means each team has only turned it over once so far here in the second half. Well, Johnson, tough shot, huh?
Good defense by Garrison Brooks. Johnson's supposed to be the quicker player, but Brooks wouldn't let him get past.
Wow.
What a catch.
Sharp hung onto the ball. Roach went flying, and it's now Carolina's largest lead of the night.
What a catch by Day'Ron Sharpe a couple of times, but they haven't been run-out turnovers. You know, they've been, he had that last one where he walked trying to get it into Bacot, but at least he gets to play 5-on-5 on the other end with the turnover that gets out of bounds.
Baker getting some big minutes tonight for Duke, and he is producing. Joey Baker into double figures now with 11. Day'Ron Sharpe just too big and strong for Henry Coleman on that trip.
He is a stud, man. He had 16 and 8 against Clemson, 5 offensive rebounds. I think his best game, he was really good against NC State, but he had 25 points against Notre Dame. He was a man-child against the Irish.
Great offensive rebounder, very good passer as well. Baker has it knocked away by Black. Carolina ball. Harris challenging Johnson, and it's too strong.
And Leaky Black was first to the floor.
Coleman comes down, regathers, scores, and is going to the line as well.
Henry Coleman's energy in this game has been a factor. And he's come in, his big body, he has played hard, he's run the floor. Good job of going up. He couldn't complete the play off the lob, but he went up with 2 hands and brought it down and then shot faked. And he and Armando Bacot played together in high school. That's a pretty good front line.
Not bad. Coleman has played 7 minutes tonight, 4 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Johnson with a rebound on the miss. And Moore thought about it, puts it on the deck. Good closeout there by Sharpe. Johnson spins, banks, and hits.
That is one talented young player. When Jalen Johnson puts it all together, and he can do it all. And he needs to improve that shot, get stronger and tougher. And he has got a ton of talent.
Sharpe had it knocked away. Coleman involved in it, and a foul is called on Day'Ron Sharpe.
Jalen Johnson on this last possession going head-to-head against Garrison Brooks. And just backs him in a little bit and then turns away toward the basket. Just a quick move. And able to kiss that off the glass. That was really a nice play by Jalen Johnson. He can do so many things, but just he's still learning how to play in the half court.
First time since February 27th, 1960 that these two teams have met with neither of them ranked. Mike Krzyzewski was 13. Roy Williams was 9. The Beatles weren't even the Beatles yet, Jay. They were the Silver Beatles in 1960. Ringo hadn't even met the other guys yet.
Yeah, Pete Best was the drummer back then.
And the single season home run record holder was still Babe Ruth. It was still a season, a year and change before Roger Maris would break the record. I mean, 1960 is so long ago, neither one of us was born yet. First televised Olympics in North America. I mean, it really is remarkable. 153 consecutive meetings between these two, when at least one of them, and usually both of them, were ranked.
That was a big three by Jalen Johnson. He can knock shots like that down.
Goldwire almost forces the turnover. And then Johnson called for the reach-in foul to take us to the under 12 media timeout. Little run by Duke, 7-point lead for the Heels. What's up, what's down in the ACC?
Could have predicted that we'd be in this position. Virginia being at the top and Florida State might have been predictable, but not that we wouldn't, the ACC wouldn't have a team in the top 13 at this point in the season.
Walker Kessler can't get the follow to go. But they keep working on the glass. Sharp will go to the line. Florida State and Louisville are both on COVID pauses right now. I think it's the second pause for each program this year, so that's why you can see they've played fewer games. The schedules will not be anywhere close to balanced. For example, Duke and Florida State, their game was postponed. If it's not made up, those two teams won't even play each other in the regular season.
Really, really odd. But the whole year's been odd.
Yep. More hoops coming your way. Send you down to the SEC, Tennessee, and Kentucky from Rupp. John Fulkerson, terrific player. One of, what do they have? They can throw 5 lefties out there at one point.
They have a ton of lefties.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Fulkerson's had a great year. He's gotten better and better every year under Rick Barnes. A good job by Leaky Black. Oftentimes Carolina will tip that back if they can't get it. He just tipped it to himself, and Duke fortunate to come away without having given up more.
Matthew Hurd, who has not scored in this game until now, as he lays it in and beat me to the punch. I was just going to ask you, what do they have to do, or what does he have to do to get going?
Maybe a shot fake, and then Andrew Platek trying to take a charge at the wrong angle, or not moving as Hurt was moving. Good fake.
Leaky Black with a step-in jumper. They're getting some offense out of him tonight. Black on the season averages 6.5. He's got 9 already tonight.
But what's amazing is Leaky Black is not known as a three-point shooter. I know he hit one earlier in the game, but he lifts his eyebrows, and Duke defenders are leaving the floor.
Off balance, Jalen Johnson. Rebound Sharp.
Whoa. Not the shot, but a good steal, and bailed out by DJ Stewart.
And Stewart to steal on the errant pass there by Sharp.
A little bit of a different lineup for North Carolina. You don't see this lineup in quite as much, but
when in doubt, go down to that guy. Brooks has had a good game, but misses here.
Yeah, you think that Garrison Brooks would want to power that ball more toward the bucket rather than settle for a turnaround jumper fading away.
All of his 10 coming early. Good catch in traffic by Wendell Moore.
But just a tough pass to be able to make.
And Jalen Johnson knocks it down from 3 again. His second three-pointer tonight, came into the game having hit just 4 on the season.
Yeah, he has been aggressive going against Garrison Brooks to take him out on the floor trying to make plays. What a talented player he is.
You know, again, it's a different kind of game. Nobody's in the building, no fans. Neither team is ranked. But both teams playing pretty well offensively. It's close. It's meaningful for both teams as Sharp gets great position. You know, don't forget the bigger picture. Yeah, they're just trying to play better and improve game by game. But both of these teams need to put some wins together, especially Duke, if they're going to be thinking about the NCAA tournament.
Just Carolina getting the ball inside and Garrison Brooks looking opposite. That allowed Day'Ron Sharp to get right into the paint and duck in and really get a great seal. Now when Garrison Brooks, now watch, Garrison Brooks has the ball here. And then you're going to see Sharp is going to go down into the post and get great position. Look how he locks down. He just wasn't fought at all by Jalen Johnson, and he needed to fight him. Otherwise, it's going to be an easy bucket like you just saw. But it was all because they got the ball first into Garrison Brooks, let him make a really good decision.
Bacot comes up with a steal. And Brooks trying to get deep position. Got a mismatch with a roach on him, but the pass is at his feet. Bacot picks it up and is fouled.
Garrison Brooks was trying to pick that ball up. He knew if he could get, he felt if he could get his mitts on it, that was an easy bucket. But the ball just rolled right over to Armando Bacot. Tough pass to make. And a really nice job by Jeremy Roach of breaking contact to get around in front. I mean, that was a mismatch in size, but Roach fought and was able to deflect that just a little bit, but still it turns into free throws for North Carolina.
And Jay, just not much of a breather for the Duke big guys, whoever they are, at any given moment. Bacot's got 12, Sharp's got 11, Brooks has 10. They just keep coming at you.
They're big, they're talented. They're big. They are really big.
And Hurt knocks down a three. So after being scoreless for much of the night, a 2 and then a 3 in the last couple of minutes for Matthew Hurt.
Well, that can change the game, because if he can stretch the floor a little bit, that pulls those Carolina big guys out away from the basket. Opens up passing lanes, cutting lanes, driving lanes.
Off play check, it'll be Duke basketball.
Duke doing a nice job of angling out Andrew Platek so he couldn't turn that corner. But just a really good pass by Coleman, and wide open for a step-in three, Matthew Hurt. And now that he's seen the ball go through the basket a couple times, he's got to be feeling a lot different about the game than he was earlier with that bagel that he had for a good part of it.
He is the second leading scorer in the ACC, behind only Justin Champagnie of Pittsburgh. Misses that three. Good look for Love. Got it.
He's a different player in this game. Everything's completely under control for Caleb Love. That's 18 now, isn't it, for him?
Yep. He's the highest scorer in the game. Roach stumbling a little bit, finds Stewart.
And you can see the defensive potential that Caleb Love has. When he gets down the stance, he can really move his feet, and he's long.
Brooks doing a nice job staying with Hurt. He finds Goldwire, and Jordan Goldwire knocks down a big three.
That was a huge shot by Jordan Goldwire. And confidently pulled. That trigger confidently pulled.
He's out there to defend and distribute. 30% three-point shooter on the season. A big one there to make it a two-point game again.
I thought the issue was neither one of these teams could shoot from three.
Brooks over the top. Bacot underneath the bucket. Good defense by Coleman. It'll be Carolina ball when we come back. Carolina, Duke going back and forth, knocking down shot after shot in this game right now at Kansas. Stay with it. If you've been with us, you know it's a good game already. Brooks off the inbounds, too easy. And Carolina up by 4 with a chance to make it 5.
Well, Carolina just showing their interior strength. It's just hard to keep Garrison Brooks with the leverage that he gets. Just got a little back screen. There wasn't a switch or anything. He just overpowered Matthew Hurt and not only got the ball, but able to get the foul and the bucket. But Carolina's missing a lot of free throws here.
And that foul on Matthew Hurt, his 4th. Now he's made a couple of recent baskets. He stays in the game. They need his offense. Good cut by Goldwire. Challenges Brooks, and somehow that ball rolls in.
It's almost like he willed that thing in. How did that climb into that bucket?
Kerwin Walton hit 3 early threes. That's his first one here in the second half.
Boy, that looks a little more like North Carolina basketball that you expect. Duke scores on one end, and Carolina gets it up the floor quickly for a quick score on the other.
Roach got the switch.
Hard to believe this Carolina team only put up 50 points on Clemson. 50.
Johnson with a fake and a kick. Moore for 3. Good look, but he comes up empty.
Boy, really good help and recover defense by North Carolina. Didn't quite get to scramble, but they had a sense of urgency to make a stop on that possession. A little horn set, 2 bigs up top.
Bacot all over the glass. Can't finish, can't save it. It'll be Duke ball.
Boy, Bacot's had so many opportunities inside that he hasn't been able to finish. Couple where he got caught underneath the basket, wound up, trying to take the really tough shot at that angle, but that one just needed to be stronger to finish that. That was a wide open opportunity.
Jay, how about Duke 10 of 21 from 3, and how about Carolina 9 of 13 from 3-point range?
Well, for the most part, they're having the right guy shoot it, and that's Kerwin Walton. But Leaky Black's hit a couple, and you've seen Caleb Love hit a couple.
Goldwire steps in, the kick to Johnson, extra pass Moore, and another three for the Blue Devils to get them back within 2. Well, that including Carolina as one of the last 4 buys.
Did you see the finish of Virginia Tech
Yes.
and Miami today? Isaiah Wong knocks down a 3, and then Hunter Couture. I mean, that was a big-time finish to regulation. Virginia Tech wound up winning that. What a game.
Yeah, gut-wrenching defeat for Jim Larinagas Hurricanes, playing without 4 players again, so undermanned. And Wong hit the 3 with, 2.4 seconds left, I think, and then Couture hit one at the buzzer to force overtime. And Mike Young's Hokies get a nice win, a tough win on the road.
And Miami had 2 fouls to give when Virginia Tech had the ball. But North Carolina having yet another opportunity right near the rim. Anthony Harris just couldn't hang on to the ball, went out of bounds. But Carolina's got to start finishing those easier opportunities. Nothing's easy in this game, but easier opportunities.
Carolina led almost the entire way in the first half, led by as many as 12. Turnaround by Matthew Hurt, and this game is tied.
Oh, what a pretty shot by Matthew Hurt. He's got such a great touch, can knock it down from 3, and that turnaround jumper can be a real weapon because he doesn't have to go body to body against Garrison Brooks. He can turn away from that and still put up that shot. Great defense by Goldwire.
One of the best on-ball defenders you'll see. Love. Bacot, and a foul on the baseline.
And 4:15 remaining in regulation, tied 77-77. You know, it's mindful of the game they had at Louisville when Matthew Hurt fouled out. You know, it just takes away an offensive weapon and a threat that you have out on the floor.
As you mentioned, Carolina's been leaving some points on the line. Bacot does knock down the first. And 2 of 2. Even with those 2 makes, the Heels are still just 6 of 14 from the free throw line.
Yeah, Duke's really going to have to spread the floor now. Spread and drive. Try to force help and then play drive and kick basketball. You'll have an open post because there's nobody in there to post.
Goldwire, good cut, and the slam by Johnson to tie it again. Love. Wow, a tough one. He wanted the foul call, didn't get that, but he gets the bucket, and the Heels are back on top.
Isn't that his game, don't you think, Dan?
Yeah,
just being more aggressive, getting to the basket, getting into the paint. And then his jump shot will come. A good defense by Leaky Black.
And a good strong rebound by Brooks in traffic. Caleb Love, 20 points, 7 assists in this game.
Now here's the horn set for North Carolina. And that time, Jordan Goldwire did not go underneath.
Bacot with a big advantage on Baker inside, and Johnson had to come over and grab him.
And he did grab him by the arm. You wonder, no contact or just a regular foul on a shot. Not sure I understand sort of the reasoning behind that, but now the focus is on Armando Bacot just knocking a free throw down. And as you mentioned a little bit earlier, I think, Dan, North Carolina struggled a bit from the line. They're 6 of 14.
And he's now made 3 in a row, so 7 for 15, but he's made 3 in a row, 65% on the season. And Bacot coming off a very quiet game against Clemson. Is having a nice night tonight as it rattles home for his 16th point of the night.
Well, the game against Clemson was an anomaly. He's been very consistent. And last year against Duke, he averaged 13 points, 10 rebounds in the 2 ball games.
Wide open Baker. And Brooks just takes it away from Moore.
What a rebound. I mean, talk about rebounding out of your area. That was coming right to Wendell Moore. And Garrison Brooks went after it with 2 hands and took it completely away from him. That's a veteran rebound right there. And what a respected player Garrison Brooks is. Not just in this league, but anybody who's played against him in his 4 years.
Second team all ACC a year ago. That ball is out of bounds and back to the Blue Devils.
Well, that's the kind of turnover just from over dribbling. You know, dribbling without going anywhere. Roy Williams trying to get to his young team. Don't hang your head. But what a great job by Garrison Brooks to go after that ball with both hands. Talk about snatching the ball. That was big time.
And a Carolina foul.
It's on Armando Bacot, it looked like, trying to get through a screen.
That is just the third team foul this half on Carolina. So keep that in mind over the next couple of minutes.
That means that North Carolina can be aggressive without concern for foul. They don't want to give them away.
Boy, good job by Bacot there. Got the shot fake from Baker, and he didn't bite. Stayed down again. Turn Baker into a driver, and it's Carolina ball.
Pretty good job by Armando Bacot of moving his feet. I think Mike Krzyzewski thought that would be called a blocking foul, but he continued to move his feet and kept his hands off of Joey Baker. That was the main thing, was he played with his body, not his hands, and wound up getting the turnover.
Baker out, Coleman back in for defense for Duke, and for Carolina as they go on offense, Walton has taken the place of Harris.
Nice trap.
Extra pass to Love. Yes, what a night for Caleb Love.
He has been outstanding.
And Moore beats everybody down the floor for a quick two.
Like, Leaky Black got lucky there. You need to come back to the ball. He was going toward his basket instead of back to the ball. Got to cut that distance down. Look at him going away there, and that almost gave an opportunity for Jalen Johnson to get that ball and take it the other way. And right now, possession for North Carolina is everything. They're up 2 possessions right now with 1:30 to go. He's got to get rid of the ball. He's going against Goldwire. That's a turnover waiting to happen, and he does turn it over. That's just not a good situation for North Carolina to have Caleb Love trying to dribble against Jordan Goldwire.
Boy, Goldwire, the last 3 games, he's averaged 35 minutes per game for Duke. And it's not because he's going to score 20 a night. He's going to distribute, and he's going to defend like nobody's business.
Yeah, Jordan Goldwire's #1 in the ACC in steals.
And a great cut there by Roach, and it's a 1-possession game.
North Carolina, this ball's got to move. Just way too much dribbling by one guy.
And a timeout called by the Heels.
Bacot and Brooks. This is about passing and catching. Set a good screen, get open, come to the ball, and make sure you get possession of that thing.
Black inbounds it to Brooks. And now they find Love.
We're all looking for Love, aren't we?
Well, you know, since we brought up the Beatles before, all you need is Love.
That's been the case tonight, hasn't it?
Whoa, and a bump there by Moore. And that'll be the 10th foul on Duke, so it's 2 free throws the rest of the way for the Heels.
And Caleb Love, a pretty good free throw shooter, shoots about 77% from the line. And with his athletic ability, he should live there in his career at Carolina.
You know, obviously without the fans here at Cameron, this is not a typical Duke-Carolina game. But what a moment for Caleb Love to step up as a freshman and arguably play the best game of his season here, his first time playing against Duke.
Yeah, no question. We talked about being measured in your career by how you play in this matchup, and he came to fight in this one. And right now, Carolina needs to be aggressive. They cannot allow threes here. If you have to give up a foul to keep from Duke getting a 3, and they give up one.
Roach wide open, left it short. Moore runs it down. Takes it inside, scores, and he's fouled.
Well, you don't want to foul on a shot. Now, that was a huge mistake by a very smart player, Leaky Black. Now, if you want to foul beforehand, you've only got 3 team fouls. That's fine. But you do not want to foul on a shot, give up free throws. And a potential 3-point play allowed Duke to set up full court pressure here. Now, if you're going to foul, don't let him complete it. You know, that was just not a smart play by a smart player.
Wendell Moore, 83% on the season, and it won't go down for him. Bacot almost had it stripped away by Goldwire. That's a big miss for a good free throw shooter in Moore.
Duke can play this out. And they need to be really aggressive here. Switching everything.
Well, whoever wins this game, it'll mean a lot given the ups and downs both programs have had this year. Lob into Brooks. Brooks had it knocked away by Johnson.
What a great block by Jalen Johnson.
And Stewart ahead of the pack to make it a 1-point game. Brooks needs to get it in and will call a time.
Like he would not hesitate to throw this long. With the younger team here, I'm not sure he would take that risk. But he's got his best player inbounding it in Garrison Brooks.
Into Black. Surrounded. And fouled.
Duke trying to tie that up because they've got the possession arrow. Baycott did go long, but that would not have been a smart pass.
And so the junior, Leaky Black, 68% free throw shooter on the season. First time he's at the line tonight.
Now with North Carolina with only 4 fouls, they got 2 fouls to give here. So when the ball's inbounded, I say when you get it near half court, foul. I don't know if Roy Williams wants to do that, if he wants to allow Duke opportunities to set up. But I'd foul him.
Coach Williams just brought in Harris and Playtech on defense. 1 of 2 in a 2-point game with 14.6 to go. So Duke ball down by 2. Remember, Matthew Hurt has long since fouled out of the game. So it's Moore, Roach, Stewart, Goldwire, and Johnson for Duke. And there's the first of the 2 fouls to give.
See, I would have let it go further. You try to get something when they're crossing half court before you foul, because not that much time went off the clock there, and then they're going to put themselves in a position of being near the 1-and-1. Let them catch it and let them bring it up and then foul.
Johnson driving on Black, gets by him, and a travel is the call. He came down with the ball, and Jalen Johnson called for a travel.
Well, really surprised that North Carolina let Wendell Moore get all the way to the basket.
My mistake. Wendell Moore on the drive and came down. He did come down before he got rid of the basketball.
Boy, smart play there by Caleb Love. Went right into the restricted area and went to jump.
No timeouts for Carolina. They get it in to Leaky Black, and again, he'll be going to the line.
Carolina still has that 1 foul to give. But if Black is able to make both these free throws, that makes it a 2-possession game. And then I wouldn't give a foul.
Black of the line. Let's check in with Kevin Connors quickly.
And Dan, we want to let you know Tennessee, Kentucky is underway on ESPN News. Crucial game for the Cats, 1-5 in their last 6. Tennessee, the number 11 team in the country. You'll see it next year on ESPN.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Leaky Black makes the first. Now comes the big one. That would make it a 2-possession game.
Well, Leaky Black has battled foul trouble. Made some really good plays in this game.
And that one is huge. 4-point lead. And the foul on Goldwire before the shot. You could see Goldwire trying to get the shot attempt off, so he would go to the line, but before the shot, so that is the 6th foul.
But that's the reason, Dan, that I wouldn't have wanted to foul there, just because you're putting it into the officials' hands. Now in the NBA, they see these things all the time. If Goldwire's able to get in his shooting motion, or you don't get the foul off right away when you want to.
Roach. Down with a rebound is Love, and North Carolina comes into Cameron and wins 91-87.